Hi everyone, I'm extremely excited to welcome you all to another session with a guest speaker here at IIM Ahmedabad. Our guest for today is an entrepreneur, a content creator, an author, and just a very prominent personality. Most of you would have learned a lot already from his videos and courses online. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Ankur Warikoo. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, it's a pleasure.
I wanted to have a quick chat with you on some points which I'm sure you're passionate about and which will significantly benefit all our viewers. Firstly, content creation today itself has become an industry in its own right, but it's also quite crowded.
Yeah.
How do you stand out and what must one do to move from creating content as a side hustle to doing it a bit more professionally?
Sure, that's a good question. I believe that everyone should create content because it's frankly a great way to express yourself, to get your thoughts organized, to get feedback from people. And then the question is very valid that if you do see it shaping up in some shape and form and getting some engagement, getting some reaction, you could consider going full stream and full time into it. The big shift in my opinion happens when you recognize that you being authentically yourself is attracting a certain crowd which is giving you both feedback on how to improve and feedback on where you're already good. And that critical mass then works for you. It's possible, and that's not a reflection of any negative or positive emotion, it's possible that what you have to share or what you're passionate about or what your niche is may not be at mass appealing to a lot of people. And that's totally okay because then you can build a very small tribe and you can get them really engaged and get them really excited. But then if you're chasing thousands and millions of people, then it's perhaps not possible with the niche that you have. It's also possible that the niche that you have or the experience that you have or what you're creating content around is suddenly attracting a lot of people and you want to then organize yourself into a smaller crowd and be a lot more focused. Whatever that direction is, the best way to do that is to just start creating content and do that clinically in a disciplined fashion. Don't think anything is going to change before 18 months. That's the bare minimum somebody needs to spend time in creating content to see any meaningful action happen. And if after 18 months you're still liking the journey and you see enough reaction coming in from people that excites you, then please pursue it and go on, take baby steps to make it full time.
So just start and be authentic.
Absolutely.
I'm sure all the aspiring content creators will hold on to that. Secondly, you mentioned in your book that you must try to sit on as many chairs as possible before you find that one chair where you feel like you belong.
Yes.
I wanted to know, have you found your chair and what sort of skills help you in that discovery process?
I think I found my chair. I think my chair is of a teacher. I believe that at a broader level, irrespective of whether I was an entrepreneur starting up or I was a consultant or I was doing anything else, teaching or in a wider definition, breaking down something complex into something simple is something that I find immense joy in. And whether it's content creation or it's courses or it's leading a team, I find myself doing that quite often. And that's something that I would love to sit on as long as I can, till the time then maybe something changes. And what I like about the fact is that I don't think I could have gotten to this point earlier. It took me this time, it took me almost 20 plus years because I had to go through all the highs and lows, curves and troughs to figure out what truly appeals to me. And I think people make the mistake of saying, I have to sit on as many chairs as soon as possible. That's not true, you just have to sit on as many chairs. And whenever you find one that is genuinely comfortable and you find you belong, irrespective of how long it took you, that is your chair.
We're happy that teaching was your chair because now we get to learn a lot from you.
Thank you.
My final question is, what would your advice be to all the budding entrepreneurs across the country?
There are three things that I would love to say because usually I say things in three things. One is, if you want to be an entrepreneur in India, there's genuinely, I don't think, a better time to be because I feel we're entering a golden phase for this country where the next 2 to 3 decades is going to be absolutely wild from a domestic consumption perspective, from an international acceptance perspective, and from all the things coming together. So if you feel you're up for it, right now is one of the best times, if not the best. Number two, nothing will make this journey work than your ability to listen to everyone around you. when you become an entrepreneur, you do tend to fall into the drug of believing that what you know is enough. And you stop listening to customers, you stop listening to your employees, you stop listening to your investors, you stop listening to your mentors. And that is the death of you. So please don't ever stop listening, because if there's any role that benefits the most from listening, it is entrepreneurship. Because you're essentially making something for others. You're not even doing it for yourself. Yes, there is joy in building that, but ultimately it's in service of others. And number 3, don't make the mistake of thinking that entrepreneurship is a great way to get rich, or a wonderful way to escape your sad life right now, or it's a great way for you to get rid of the FOMO that you feel because your friends are also becoming entrepreneurs. It's not cool, it's not as sexy as it meant to be, it's certainly not a joyous journey all through. Yes, there are wonderful moments, but it's mostly extremely intense, where you're the center of every problem that's gravitating, and as soon as things get great, you delegate, but all the bad just gravitates towards you. And your job is to just constantly pick up that, roll up your sleeve, fix it, and then give it to somebody who can run with it. And that is demanding. It is nearly not as glamorous as it makes to be. So please don't become an entrepreneur for the wrong reasons.
That was extremely insightful. So while India is the place to be, one shouldn't get into entrepreneurship for the wrong reasons. With that, we'll wrap up this conversation. Thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and we hope to learn a lot more from you. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you again shortly.
Thank you.